Uh, well, I have a little problem because I teach some courses that are very basic science, and it's hard for me to figure out a result. Uh, well, do you have an idea of how to approach this problem? By example, I want to know, I want my students to know about one group of organisms that they can perform an important role in an ecosystem, but nobody is going to ask them to find them because everybody, not everybody thinks about the role of some special microorganism in an ecosystem. But I'm thinking as I speak. I think that I can. The result will be that they can convince people that don't know about these organisms that these organisms are important. Okay, creo que I believe I am asking. I am. I am responding my question. I don't know if you got my idea.
I think so. I think that's a challenge for all of us, and yes. Because you're talking about the smaller pieces of what they have to understand,
yes,
that probably are not important to anybody in that little part of what they need to know.
Yes.
And I think the challenge is how to make that small understanding that they need fit into the bigger importance of what they need to know in their career. I think, and let me be clear here, I'm not suggesting that everything we teach is taught this way. I think we have to have drills, I think we have to have, they need to memorize things, don't get me wrong, but I think we need to work towards giving them a problem. For example, in this area, and I'm not, maybe you can give me a more clear, specific example. Why do they need to know this? I mean, why is it important for them to know this?
Well, I can give you an example.
Yes.
Diatoms are very small algae that make 20% of the photosynthesis in the biosphere, and nobody knows about them. So we want the people know about them, and taking in account when I making plans for development. I think that could be an example.
Okay. Well, there you go. I mean, if it's a part of global warming, if it's a part of
yes,
the health of the environment, if we can take that, and I know a little bit, but I'm thinking about algae and all of the things that, in the States we have a big problem with fertilizers
yes,
that run off into our creeks and streams, create a lot of algae that takes oxygen away from the critters in the streams, but people don't want to stop using fertilizers. So that's a problem I would give to my students about something very small that's they have to learn about, but putting it in a bigger context of global warming, environmental, health and safety. I think even those small parts can be more relevant. So you might find a way for them to use this thing that nobody knows about, and how it may be important within the bigger picture. I think it's a challenge. I'm not saying it's going to work for everything, but it will work for some part of your courses. I guarantee you this. And one of the good things that we're going to be able to do in this short time we're together is that you will be thinking about things, and then we will have a period where you can come and talk to me one-on-one like we're doing now, because we can figure it out together, I promise.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, so let me tell you what you're going to do for your homework assignment, okay? And everybody pay attention, right? What we're going to do is we're going to try to work towards this. This is the map I referred to earlier. And the idea is, you're not going to do this today, but the idea is you're going to be thinking about your course objectives, and here's an example about impacts on animal migration. This is a unit on impacts on animal migration. So we're going to put our objectives here, what the student needs to know. We'll come up with activities here. We won't do this yet. Then we're going to come up with where's the assessment, what materials do we need to use, and finally, if there's any technology that we need. So this is what you're going to do for just one part of your course by the end of our time together. We won't do it for the entire course. And let me see if I can show you. Yeah, I've already showed you this, okay? I'm a little lost in my slides. So here's kind of what I see us doing is we're going to get through, on this graphic, we will get through the first two parts of this, I think, in our work together. So we're going to start this week talking about our traditional course, how it works, and hopefully by the time we will have come up with at least one part of our course that is blended, not the whole course, just one part of it. The goal would be ideally, and this is where I am now, I'm over here now. I'm all the way over to where very little content is actually covered in class. I know you're not ready for that. It's not going to work for you. That's fine. But this is where it works the best, over to the far right. So before I tell you any more about what I'm going to have you do this week, any other questions, comments, or concerns? Now, I'm not asking you to do anything but think about your current course this week. Next week, we'll start digging deeper into things that you can do. I'll move on. So I wanted to show you our course. And to do that, I'm going to try. Let's see if I can make this work. I don't know, but I'm going to try. I think it will work. Let's see. Hold on a minute. Yeah, I'm going to try to share my computer screen with you. And I hopefully will go the way I think it's going to be. So we'll see. Okay. Now you should be able to see my desktop. Can you see my computer?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we're in the Blackboard course, and you can see over to the left, there's an introduction, a schedule, discussions, learning modules, blended readings and resource, and our Collaborate. Some of you are in Collaborate, so I know you see that. Every week I will have a module, and this takes for a week. It's very straightforward. When you open the module, you will see directions, what I'm asking you to do every week. It's not very much. Your first assignment is here. Now, what you're going to do in your first assignment, you will turn it in here, and I will give you feedback before our next class session. I'm asking you to turn it in by Friday. I know not everyone will be able to do that. I'm going to explain it in a minute, but it's because I'm trying to give myself time to give you feedback. You will also watch a VoiceThread presentation, and the link is here. I'm not going to move on to that. I have a handout for you. I have web links for you that I've already shown you. And then I have a link to the discussion. If you would like to ask questions between our next class, you can post them here. For example, the comment about teaching your science concept, I'd like time to think about that. So if you have a particular challenge or question you have that I can be thinking about before we talk again, that would be very helpful to me. I would appreciate that being shared in the discussion. All right, let's see if I can figure out how to get us back to, this is always a challenge, how to get out of this mode. So I have to see what happened to my little, hold on a second. Yeah. All right, tools, section. Here we go. What magic this is. I really like this, this tool. It takes a little bit of while. There we go. Isn't that wonderful? I really like this. For distance things, it's very helpful to me. I think. So what exactly are we going to do? Well, you'll go in to see the learning modules. You'll figure that out. And I've named the modules pretty straightforward for you. Our schedule is in Blackboard. We'll meet for 4 times. You will have things to do, a little assignment every time. You'll be working together. I don't mind that you turn one day in a team. Your task for the next week is to make yourself familiar with Blackboard, complete the learning module. It'll be pretty obvious what you're supposed to do when you go in there. And then it's the main assignment is you're going to be taking this handout I have for you. The only thing I want you to do is identify the course or part of a course that you want to work on, just one part of your course. And all I'm asking you to do this week is think about what you do now. So you're going to write down, this is what I do when I teach this, this is what my students do when I teach this. When we think about what we're doing now, okay, it's very helpful when we start thinking what we can change. If we're not thinking about what we're currently doing, it's not going to help us to start designing what happens other places. So let's look at how this might work, actually. So you'll see this person, this is actually from someone who this is from the example I showed you earlier. The objectives are written over here. This is what you want the student to know, right? This is what you do. In this case, the student's lecturing and showing videos, and the learner is reading assignments, taking notes and lectures. They're selecting a research project, writing a paper, taking notes, etc. That's all I want you to do. Nothing about what you think you might do, what you're doing now. And when you get into the Blackboard, you'll see I have provided you a document just like what I showed you. You can type right in it, you will save it, and you will turn it into Blackboard, and I will give you some feedback and maybe ask some questions of you. Questions about that so far? You all clear on that?
It's clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the other thing I'm asking you to do, I have created a voice thread. And this is very short. It's a very it's like a narrated presentation. It's very short. It's only 11 slides. I have the URL in Blackboard. You will go in that. Now notice, let me see if I can show you this little. See this over here? See the picture of me over here? I actually am talking. You actually can post comments to this. You don't have to. But I do ask for some interaction. So I would like you to view this before our next class session. It will probably take you 5 or 10 minutes to view. I'm showing it to you because I use voice threads with my students as a way of presenting content to them outside of class. So it is one way you can present information to them, but at the same time engage them. So it will be very short, 5 or 10 minutes for you to participate in. It's pretty straightforward this week. And are there any other questions you have of me or concerns? I do appreciate that your students may not be ready. I do appreciate that the university may not be supportive. And I do appreciate that we don't want to change our complete class. We just want to focus on one part. So as you're thinking about this, just don't try to do the whole course. Choose one chapter, one unit, one part of your course. It may be the part of the course that's the most challenging for you. I think if you want to get the most out of this and think about how you can change something, that's what I would do. I would not choose something that is already working. I would choose something that I know could be done better. Any questions or comments as we wrap up today?
No, it's okay.
If you have questions or comments, post them in the discussion. You're also, of course, welcome to email me. I'm very happy to take questions at any time. I had a very wonderful experience in the summer with faculty, and I'm hoping we can achieve the same. I know this is very different, but I want to help you achieve your goals. That's all my goal is to help you be more successful. So that's it for today, for me.
Escuchar el mensaje. Es que tiene aquí un audio set up o algo así, ¿no?